All right, guys, welcome back to another show.
Yo,
1 second. Oh, wait. Did you be saying 1 sec? Wait. Okay,
I was
cool.
just
So
giving the
again.
people the peace sign.
Sorry. Okay, guys.
You
Wait,
should
wait
just
for
get
it.
that in there.
Yeah, true. All right, guys, welcome back for another show. We are Weird and Wonderful,
Yo.
and this time we are taking it. The date is the 1st of February, and so we're taking a look right now at the transfer window, having a little bit of a roundup of what's gone on, give you people a bit of an update if you've missed anything. Lots happened
Who's done
today.
well? Who's
Yeah, yeah.
flopped? Yeah.
And yeah, I don't think there's any other place to start with than Ishmael finally getting his wishes granted. Liverpool and FSG have finally not just signed a centre back, but signed two centre backs. Ishmael, can we get your reaction to that? How happy are you?
Well, I mean, talk about flipping that London bus analogy when you wait a long time for one,
Literally.
two come at once. I mean, I'm just glad we got bodies in. I won't, I won't, I won't lie. I hadn't heard of Ben Davis, or this Ben Davis, until
Not the
about
Welsh one.
3 o'clock yesterday. Yesterday, 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. When I first saw the news broke, I was like, "Right, we're getting Ben Davis from Spurs. Like they're gonna let him go like that?" Because I know he can play. He can play like left-sided
Left
centre
centre
back
back,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
So I was like, "Cool, this is a bit of a weird one." Like, roll with it. And I was like, "No, I'm seeing Preston." I'm like, what? What? I was like, what the fuck's going on? I was like, "Who is this guy?" Um, there obviously is like this shit starts going off on Twitter or whatever, and I've gone to YouTube to try and find
Do some
some
research,
compilation
yeah, yeah.
videos of the guy. Try and do my due diligence as you do. I'm scrolling down to like the last video that he's got under his name, and I'm seeing that it was posted like 5 hours ago. So this guy didn't exist until in. Like, I don't want to actually. I don't.
Not
That's not
not
deep,
not
but this
amongst the
guy didn't
YouTube
really exist.
compilation makers anyway.
Not yeah, yeah. Which is what we know the true
Yeah,
football
yeah, yeah.
scouting to be. But anyway, all jokes aside, this guy was not well known until like yesterday afternoon. Um, since then, done a bit more research, and it seemed like he might be like a decent, like enough player. Obviously, if you get to 26 and you're still in the championship, you haven't made the step up yet. There's going to be some eyebrows raised, but he seems like he's a decent player. Um, I kind of compare his signing maybe to like the Igalo one for United. Obviously, Igalo had Premiership pedigree, but I feel like this guy's just going to be a bit of a vibes thing. He's just like happy to be about. He'll do his job when he's called upon, but
But it wasn't.
he's
It's not a loan though,
he.
is it?
No, this is a £2 million deal. I think we're paying 500 grand up front. Obviously, Liverpool. That's how we roll. We like to do the whole installments, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is what it is. What it is. But I can't lie. I'm not gassed about him like by any stretch. I'm just happy to have got a body in. So
And
yeah,
low risk as well.
apparently what low risk. I think there's a clause in his contract regarding England appearances, which could rise up to about 3 mil. But it's not really. If
Let's
he's
see if he can
shit,
get
then
into.
you
Do you
can't
reckon he
also.
goes straight into your first team, or do you
It's
move?
interesting, isn't it? Because we'll move on like to the other signing we made, Kabak today, Turkish player for Schalke. Um, I actually do know a bit more about him because we were linked to him in the summer as like a sort of replacement for Lovren.
Good.
Obviously, Schalke have had a horrible season. I think they had only won one game in like 30, 33,
One
34, I think it
game, yeah.
was.
Conceded.
Um,
I think it was 42
so
goals. 42 goals conceded already this season.
mad amount of goals. I do want to touch on one thing though because something did kind of rattle me, piss me off, whatever.
Is it El Hadji drifting?
But I don't know if no. It's flipping Paul Merson's dickhead comments today on Sky, where he's like, "Oh, first of all, I know for a fact Paul Merson has never seen Camac play football ever.
Never.
I'd like, I
Not.
can tell
Not.
him
He's never
from like
heard of him
from what.
before.
No, he's like, who's what kebab? Who's that? This fucking fool, man. And he's saying how like he's come from relegation fodder, blah blah blah. What he
True
doesn't
though.
realize is that fair enough, yeah, that's true. But Andy Robertson came from a relegated Hull. Xherdan Shaqiri came from a relegated Stoke, and Gino Wijnaldum came from a relegated Newcastle. So like,
Relegated from the Premier
For
League is
me,
different from getting relegation form in the Bundesliga, though.
listen. For me, if you haven't seen a player, then you can't really comment on him with your chest like that. Like, just be big enough and admit you don't really know what he's like. You don't know
But
what he's
Ishmael,
like.
as you like to put it,
I think
is he it?
go on.
Is he it?
Who? Who?
Kabach.
No,
Is he it?
he's not
Is
it.
he it though?
He's not it by
That's what we really want to
by
know though.
any
Is he
stretch.
it? Is he it, Ishmael?
He could be, listen. Our transfer record has been spotless the last few years,
Taki Minamino.
pretty much spotless the last few years.
Simcas, has he had a game yet?
Fam, he played alright. He played Champions League. I don't know if you know too much about that competition at the moment with
I've heard of it. I've
United
heard of
playing
it.
Thursdays.
I've heard of it.
But Shimmikas, he's calm. Like he's Andy Robertson's understudy, so he's not going to get too many games because the Scottish man is a machine. So it is what it is. But
Yeah. What happened to
giving us
Sepp? Do you know what
Kabach.
my issue? Sorry, before we go to Kabach properly,
What are you going to
going back.
Sepp Vandenberg?
Going back to what happened with Ben Davies, Sepp Dandenberg going the other
Fam, have
way.
you,
I remember he was really
it's only
highly
on loan. It's
rated
only
as a
on loan.
six.
It's only on loan.
Yeah,
It's
but
only
as a
on loan.
16,
It's only on
I
loan.
think but as a 16-year-old, you'd think that there's more
Yeah,
value
yeah.
in bringing. Well, he's not 16 anymore. I think he's like 19, but bringing him through,
Like 80. Yeah.
bring him
Go
through,
on,
give him some minutes. Like he hasn't even had a look in yet.
bro. Have you seen this guy? Have you seen him play before?
Yeah, I mean, I remember he
You
was
see
up.
when we
He was
played. You see
touted.
when
He
we
was
played.
touted quite highly as a good player.
You see,
I remember.
you know what I think it was? I think we got sucked into the whole because he's 6'4" in it and he's Dutch. I think we got sucked into the
Went
Van
back.
Dijk thing a bit too much because I watched him play against. You see, we played Village Kids not this season, but last year when we had the Club World Cup, and
He won it.
he nah. Nah, not by any stretch. I'm like, if he gets game time in the champ,
Yeah.
and
You're okay with him going. You're okay with it. You're okay with it. You're at peace.
listen, bro, I'm waving him off. I don't have any beef with him, but like I like
One
to
player
say,
he got rid of that I was quite disappointed. It was in the summer actually, a part of the Yotta deal that Keanu Hoover, who's not had as much time against Wolves as I thought he would, but he looks like a true player. So I'm just I'm just looking at like you signing players. Are you getting rid of potentially really good players to sign stop
the
gaps?
The Hoover one I can understand because I rated him highly. Another Dutch kid, but he's a baller, isn't it? He's
Yeah,
quite techy.
I'm sure you'll
He can
buy him
play
back
right
at some
back
point as
and
well.
centre back. Yeah, I think we actually have got a buyback option in there, but
You don't think
Vandenberg's
Sepp's
if
still
you ask,
no?
no, if you ask Liverpool fans, he like nah.
It's not good enough to make.
He's,
You don't think he'll come back a better player? You think he's just not he's not up to it?
I think he'll either stay at Preston or potentially like just trickle and like be a bit of a journeyman and
Just
go back
yeah.
to the Netherlands or
Okay,
one of
cool.
them ones.
Well,
But Kabak
yeah, go on.
he comes rated kind of highly.
20 years
20
old,
years
still
old,
young, still
20 years
young.
old. Yeah, he had a bit of a mad thing this season. He got banned for 5 games for spitting
El
at
Hadj Diouf,
a
that's what I was
opponent.
referring to. The El Hadj
Is that
Diouf
what you,
thing.
you're fucking pagan?
Five
But
games.
he did.
Have you seen it as well? The
He did.
incident.
He did plead. Yeah, I know. My man was trying to plead innocence and say he didn't mean to spit, but
You can see his eyes looking at the Don on the floor.
I know. That's the one thing on the pitch that I don't really. I'd rather he just banged man
In
the face,
life, in life, man, I'd rather
like
get punched in the face and spat in the
exactly.
face
It's like flipping Lee Bowyer. I'd rather he done a Lee Bowyer, Kieran Dyer thing where you'll just
than
slap
El
him off the
Hadj
pitch.
Diouf.
Then I don't want to see my players spitting. But one thing that's always been a feature of Klopp signings or Michael Edwards is that they do like to look into the players' personality and off the field.
And do you know what?
So
He
there
kind of
must
matches.
be
He kind of matches one Liverpool legend's sort of personality and mannerisms. Wouldn't you say? One player that comes straight to my mind. Let's see if he can get him.
Go on. No, I
Jamie.
want to hear who you're gonna.
He
So
seems like he's got. He's got similar traits as Jamie Carragher. He's got similar traits to Jamie Carragher already. Spitting.
Listen, Carragher did the mad thing by spitting on that kid. Actually, that was nuts.
So if he can live up, if he can be half the player Jamie Carragher was at Liverpool, he'd be shit.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
Yeah, let's just hope that he can achieve as much as Jamie Carragher did in the game.
But yeah. Anyway, Champions League and multiple cups. I'm fine with that. But anyway, literally these two signings, I'm happy we got bodies in, but I can't really. You can see
European
from
Cup
my
and
demeanor.
cups.
You're a fucking prick. You can see from my demeanor that I'm not overly gassed. I'm gassed to have the bodies in. what I'm flipping most gassed about is that we will definitely see Henderson in midfield again, and we might even see Fabinho in midfield as well. So that can only bode well. But yeah,
But what depth? That's the only thing. I'm curious to see how these guys settle and if they can keep maintain that level because it takes one game, one risk, one sort of
yeah, yeah, yeah,
feeling
yeah,
out
yeah, yeah.
process where you can drop points, and that signing
Especially this
already.
season
'Cause
as well, where
they
it's
can't
so
fail.
fine
They
with
can't
points.
fail.
But
Yeah, yeah. It's like
we definitely, I doubt we'll play both together. I don't think you'll see us play two new Bucks in at the same time. But um, yeah, it's kind of a free hit. What I think the only thing that's kind of worrying me is that I think the fact that we went from signing no centre backs to two would make me think that either
is it
A, because I
quality
know
or
Matip had a
quantity?
scan. Well, no, Matip had a scan today on his ankle injury to see the extent. So I'm kind of thinking now that it might be like a end of the
Worse than you.
season or season ender thing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because then
Um, or or it means that Joe Gomez has had a setback as well. So, well, Klopp's already said he'll be surprised to see Gomez again this season. So, I'm guessing that means Matip's injury is more serious than first feared. So, yeah, that's a bit of a sticky one. But
yeah, let's see if they can. Let's see if it's just because when you've moved Fabinho or Henderson into the defense, it's been quite
le-
seamless. You might have
let's
missed a
give
bit in
Hendo
some
his flowers.
games,
Let's give Hendo. Yeah, let's give Hendo.
but let's
I
see
reckon Hendo's looking like
if
he
these
could be. Hendo's looking like he could be moving back to centre back like in the next couple of years as his career kind of get
yeah.
reaches his twilight. He's
I don't know
been
if
that
that's
good.
I don't know if that's a
Um,
sustainable move. To be honest, I wouldn't want to. If I was
hey,
Henderson, I wouldn't want to be planning on that. But
time will time will tell. Time will tell.
yeah,
Innit?
I'm just curious to
If
see
that
if
can extend
these.
your career,
Yeah, I'm just gonna see what the drop off is
yeah,
in terms of form. I think it's an opportunity for Liverpool to drop points, so I'm going to keep a keen eye
yeah, yeah,
on
yeah,
how that shapes up. And big games get City, a good game against City coming up on the weekend. So yeah, baptism of fire that will be, won't it?
yeah. I'll be surprised if we see either of them then. To be honest, but just flipping touch with man, no more
Yeah,
injuries.
I
Like,
mean City haven't really
yeah,
got a fit striker, but they
but
seem to be finding goals. But let's not. This isn't a review or a preview of the weekend. But
preview, yeah, yeah.
yeah, cool. Well, that's the Liverpool centre back signings. And are you overall happy with those? Or like, where's your head at if you're out of 10 in terms of you were asking for a centre back from FSG? Have they
Out of
delivered?
10,
Have they
flipping out,
delivered
man.
for you?
Yeah, I mean, I've got two. They over delivered in terms of
But did
quantity,
they really under
but
deliver? That's the question. Though. Did they? Do you know what I mean?
bro, time will tell. I'm not gassed. Put it that way. I'm not gassed by any stretch. Like, yeah, yeah.
Cool.
The energy's calm. But yeah,
Yeah,
man.
I mean, time
We'll
will
move
tell,
on
will it?
to who do you think? Because obviously United didn't really have too many comings and goings, but are there any sort of teams that you thought had a great window, or if you want to talk about United,
Yeah,
then
yeah. Well, I
sort
mean,
of the
I can
key.
give a quick overview of what United's businesses look
Yeah, yeah.
like.
Let the people know. Go on.
Only one major incoming, and that was done in in the summer, and you would have heard me talk about him already. But Amad Diallo is now a United player. He's been training with our first team. He's got his first minutes for the under 23s against Liverpool this weekend. If any of you missed it, United under 23s won 6-3. It was a really good game that on Saturday midday. Got Joe Hugo got 4 goals, could have had 5, but gave Amad Diallo a penalty to get his second. Really good performance from Diallo. Looked head and shoulders above every single other player.
Under
Not every other player,
23s.
but
Head and shoulders above under
he's
23s.
18 years old. But he looked like he was ready for first team football. Had an arrogance about him. Real confident player. I'm expecting big thing. I'm expecting him to take. Look, I think he'll be a real hit in the Premier League. But glad he's made
Let's
his move
not
to United.
just
Super
quickly,
happy about that.
not kind of. Obviously, I know that you're gassed about him. You think he's going to be a big prospect, but just speaking about this season alone, where do you think his ceiling kind of is? Like, what do you want to see? Do you want to see?
This season, that's a good question.
Do you want to see what? Do you want to see five? Do you want to see five senior appearances? Do you want to see like a little like a FA Cup? You're still yeah flipping knock us out. Do you want to see like a FA Cup, the FA Cup run or Europa League
Yeah.
kind of
Do you
vibe?
know
What are you looking
what?
for?
I think he's better than just like limiting him to the cup competitions or the Europa League. He
Yeah.
is he's good enough to play in our first team for sure. I think it's what's happening right now. It's like similar to what was happening with Donny. Whereas I kind of think Donny's probably a bit.
What is happening with Donny? Let's talk about.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
actually,
yeah.
let's not
No,
talk
no,
about Donny right now.
let's not
Let's
get
take that
this.
for another
We don't need a tangent right
time.
now. But
Bro,
Donny's
free
played.
Donny, man.
Yeah. Donny. I definitely think that Ollie's got a plan for him. Ollie's got a plan for Donny, and that entails just him a bit of
Trust.
acclimatization. It seems like acclimatization, and I think that's what's going to happen with Ahmad. I think he's going to have a few months to settle in at United before you'll start to see the best of him.
Do you think he was a Ollie? Not even like they're not trying to throw shade at all here, but do you think it was like an Ollie signing, or do you think it was just because United do seem to have a record of like when you earmark young talent, irrespective of the manager, you just go and get them. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
do you think Ollie's actually said, I want this you, or do
yeah.
you think it's like,
Ollie
like
definitely wanted him. That's for certain. He wanted
yeah, yeah,
him to join United. He watched him a few times, spoke to him quite a lot. Um, since we signed him and before that, this deal was happening for a long time, and it just got fast forwarded because of Sancho, because of the lack of Sancho. But yeah, it was definitely a Solskjaer signing,
like a
but
Sancho.
lack of Sancho
Yeah, yeah,
sounds like a new Arsenal striker.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, he Ollie wanted him. He signed him. He gave the sign off on that. But it was definitely a player that United have been
You
scouting
co-signed it,
for.
yeah.
United have been signing. Look, I've been looking to sign
Oh
him for a
wow.
long time. Um, he's been at Atalanta since he was 11. I think when he moved to Italy, he's been there for 7 years. And United have been tracking him for I think 3 or 4 years. So it's not a rush decision. And yeah, I could have been. I could come into the United as United manager tomorrow, and you show me Amad Diallo. I go to watch him, and I'd sign him straight away. So whether it was definitely one that United had in the pipeline, but Ollie definitely gave a sign off, and he's definitely excited to have him at the club. Another player, a young player, but this time on his way out. Well, sorry, he rejoined United back from Watford. He was on loan at Watford under Vladimir Ivic. He lost his job and started to lose his place in the Watford team. He's obviously quite a young player, James
This is
Garner,
someone you rate. I know you rate very
really
highly. Every
highly, man.
basically for the viewers, every like few months to a year, or whatever, Moses will just send me like a barrage of YouTube videos of United's young prospects, expects me to like be impressed or whatever. But I know for a fact that Jimmy Garner, James Garner, whatever, he's been someone who's been on your radar for some time.
He's a
Like
real
he's not
player,
really.
man.
I don't want to say he hasn't kicked on because he's still mad young, but he obviously went out on loan to Watford to get game time. But yeah, as you're gonna let us know now, it's not really materialised for him just yet. Yeah, so
Yeah.
where's he
Do you
gone
know
now?
what? I place more of that, the reason for that on the change of manager, getting Cisco Munoz in, another Spanish manager. But
Fam, who like these? What? Where
I
are they
don't know.
finding these
I don't
Watford
never
players?
heard of him before. I looked him up
They
earlier,
sound
and I was
like
getting pictures of Cisco with like the bleach blonde
what?
hair.
Is it flipping from
Yeah, I
top?
mean, different spelling as a bit of a joke, but yeah, Cisco Munoz, and he
Going
basically the
home.
issue there with James Garner came when Cisco joined and Vladimir Ivic when Vladimir trusted James Garner. He was on
Yeah, yeah.
all of the set pieces, was playing fairly regularly, but he lost his job ultimately. And Cisco Munoz, do you know what I mean? Like when that happens, you just need results, and the first players who
Yeah, you
fall
wanted
by
to
the
rely
wayside
on.
are the youngsters, especially the
Yeah, yeah,
loanee
yeah.
youngsters, because what benefit long time does it give him to play him?
You don't need to respect these men too much. Like if you want
Yeah,
to get the senior pros, the kind of the
I
big
mean, you just
characters
want
in
need
the
results.
dressing room, so
Yeah.
to speak. Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, ultimately,
Um,
James Garner's gone now to Nottingham Forest, so I think it's a great move for him. A club of real stature, real
yeah. Forest are
history.
doing all right.
Yeah, and he should get some more game time there. Another player who's been recalled from his loan, Tahith Chong, who's been recalled back from Werder Bremen. I think he's out. He's gone out to Club Bruges. Who else? We finally got rid of Marcus Rojo. I think he's joining
Oh
Boca
yeah,
Juniors. Not sure that's a permanent. I'm not sure that's a commercial deal. I think we terminated his contract, and now he's out the window as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
Out
yeah.
the door, sorry. Not out the
What was
window.
it? What was your issue with Rojo? Like, because he
No, it's not an issue.
whenever I
He
used to
just
see him
wasn't
play, like
playing. He wasn't playing for us. So
yeah,
like,
was it like a wage? Was it like a wage thing, or because when I used to see him play, like he wasn't too. He would never have like a howler. He was just mad erratic. Like I'd see
yeah, he
him
had like two brain
sometimes.
cells. Like
He
one of them was
he'd
like
boot the ball.
tackle. One of them
Just
was
boot the ball
clear.
under any
Yeah,
circumstance.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like
that's the ball.
he
That's kind of it's kind of.
I don't. I look. I've
It
got a lot
wasn't
of
a
time
bad.
for
It
Marcus
wasn't like a
Rocco.
bad
Yeah,
defender.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He did a lot
He
of good
wasn't.
at United, and like I don't remember. I don't. It's not like it's not a Phil Jones thing. Like Marcus Rocco,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
contributed when he was fit. Phil Jones, he's been out for like a year now. Where did he get this knee injury
Feels
from?
like
Is what I
longer,
want to
bro.
know.
It's only been a year. It's only been a year. I feel like
Bro,
I've
he's
got
been
so
injured
much
for
on
about a
statistics.
year.
Like,
He's been injured for about a year. Like, not even joking. On like
man,
100
just
bags a
he's
week.
like, I don't even want to. I don't want to like. I don't want to speak incorrectly if I'm maybe I've got the facts wrong. So that, but from what I can see outside looking in, it looks like my man's just on the vibes. Like because he used to go to games
I don't know what
when
he's
there was
on,
fans
man.
in.
I don't know what he's
He
on.
just being at Old Trafford in the suit, just like chilling. Like he did.
Anyway,
100 grand a week. Like it's
major flop.
mate.
I don't know why we gave him a new contract either. We gave him a new contract like a year and a half
I swear
ago.
like it wasn't even that long ago. Yeah, but
Nah, it was while Ollie was temporary
I think it must
manager.
be like a
Him and Smalling got new
it must
deals
be like
and
a
Rocco as well,
must
just
be like a
so we could get
homegrown
resale.
thing or what.
It was a resale thing. I think it's
Yeah.
so we could sell him for something. But who would have known that he's
But
literally
who's
worth
buying
nothing?
really and truly, who's actually gonna buy
I think
Smalling?
Newcastle were
Not even like
interested. Newcastle, but
yeah, but you
he could do a
is he
job for
gonna is
someone
it
in the Prem, but just not at a club like United.
not for 100 grand a week as well.
No.
Let's clarify that. But that kind of
Yeah.
segues not unless you have you are you done with United?
There's
Because
one more.
I feel
There's
like
one
that's
more. There's
go
one
on, yeah,
more
go
I'd
on,
like
go
to
on, go
drop
on.
in as well. A summer signing for Kundo Palistri, another young player, just
Yeah,
turned
yeah, yeah.
19. I think he was. He's now got his move to Alaves. I think in La Liga. Pretty much guaranteed to be starting
Liverpool
as well there.
fans, you know about Alaves. You know about Alaves Liverpool fans from the UEFA Cup final. One third of our treble win in 2001. Um,
Treble. Can you do that,
but
please?
I
If you're gonna
know
say treble.
treble.
Treble
Fab,
win.
relax, man. Treble. It's
But
three
yeah, so
trophies.
yeah,
Anyway.
sick. But yeah, he's made his move to Alaves,
Good for
and
him.
he should be getting some game time there. He's been really impressed the United coaches whilst he's been here, and the fact that he's been given a move to La Liga after about 3 or 4 months being at United shows that he's doing a good job and that the clubs that
It's
rate
a good
him.
sign, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's a
for
good
sure.
sign. We
But yeah,
also
that's
forgot
all
we
the
didn't speak
United.
about we
Sorry,
didn't
go on.
no we didn't speak about Jesse. We forgot to talk about Jesse getting his loan
Yeah,
move
sorry.
down to
That's true.
London.
He's got his
Um,
move to West Ham. Yeah, I hope he finds some form, gets some game time because that's what he needs, Jesse, at this point in his career. He needs to be playing football. Hopefully, yeah, he comes back a better player and he can contribute to our squad. But for the moment, there's just no way into like our first team squad at the moment. It just we've got a really good
I
squad at
just
the moment, really
I
strong. He's
don't
just
know about like
not going to get the time.
I don't know. I'm a bit like obviously I used to get onto what's his name
Mm.
Lingard like untold amounts for his like just inconsistent form or whatever. But I do kind of think because he operates in that number 10 area or like can play off wide as well. But if you were to have an injury to Bruno like next week against Southampton or whatever, what other players have you got? Obviously you got Pogba as well who can kind of play in that role. But I feel like he's not a bad squad player to have. Like, I feel like you've got worse
For
players than him.
sure. I think he can. I think he can contribute, but I don't think he's going to have the opportunity to get to hit the form where he can contribute effectively to United.
Yeah,
It's just interesting because like we talk about Jesse Lingard a week ago, and you're like he's not good enough for United, but like now he's gone on loan, he's like oh maybe he could have contributed.
who
But
me?
yeah, well no, it's just inevitable. Like if Jesse Lingard does move to another
Yeah,
club, it's like oh I think he could be, but like ultimately there's Donny van der Beek, there's
but it's
Juan
one of
Mata,
it's one
all
of
in
them
front
ones.
of
It's one
him.
of them ones where like it's one of them ones. If he goes to West Ham and does bits, I wouldn't be that surprised. Like,
He's on loan, and
or maybe
I want
maybe
him to do well.
Maybe West Ham's at level. I don't know.
Yeah,
So I
but
hope he does well. For like
yeah,
on
and
the
he's a
pitch, like
United boy,
I'll have
man.
him forever.
He's a United boy, and like
On
he's had a bit of a hard time recently. So I'm just glad that he
that's
can.
what I was
I'm
gonna
just
say.
glad
That's
that
what I
he
was
can
gonna say.
he can
Fresh
just
start.
focus on football, get yourself right again. Move down to London, some new environments. You'll know people down there. But yeah, ultimately he needs to get his career back on track, and I think he's hopefully his United career is not done just yet. He's still got another season after this loan's finished. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see about Jesse. Hopefully, either he plays well, gets a move to a better club, or just another club, or yeah, he comes back and is ready to contribute to United. But yeah, wish him well, Jesse. Got a lot of time for that man.
Yeah, so that kind of wraps up the Liverpool and United. I wanted to
Business,
talk
yeah.
about a team who I think who have had a good window, but not just because of the incomings that they've had. But I think Arsenal have had a pretty good window really in terms of
Mhm.
Well, for two reasons actually. They've got rid of a lot of the deadwoods. And I don't put Mesut and or our guy Mesut in that bracket of deadwood, but they've got rid of a lot of men who are on big contracts. Mesut was on 350 a week.
Yeah, a lot of money.
Mustafi just done today. He's on 100. Kolasinac gone as well. So they've got rid of a lot of players that weren't going to play, and then they've also got Willock and Maitland-Niles who've just gone out on loan to Newcastle and West Bromwich Albion respectively as well. So like they've done some good business, and obviously they've brought in Odegaard as well. So I think Arsenal fans should be pretty pleased, even though I know they
Mm.
won't be. That's how they are.
Yeah,
But I think
yeah,
they should be
yeah, yeah.
quietly content with the win that they've had. But yeah, I
No,
just wanted
no,
to know if what your
for
thoughts on the
sure.
window.
Like,
If you think anyone else has had that?
I wouldn't say it was a good. I don't know if it's like a good window for them because like a lot of the outgoings for me, I didn't think necessarily needed to leave. So like, I think for me, Maitland-Niles is good enough for that squad. And
I
like,
think with Maitland-Niles, just quickly, I think it was like a positional thing because they see him as like a left back or right back understudy, but he would play midfield in it. I think he's
mm,
gone. West Brom needs midfielders. I think that's kind of the reason behind that.
mm.
But yeah, anyway, go on with what you were saying.
No, I think Maitland-Niles is good enough to be contributing for Arsenal. I don't know what has happened there because it feels like they were like determined to get rid of him in the summer. Didn't manage to find a move. I think Wolves were interested, but him leaving
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
him leaving now doesn't seem like it's him to go get some minutes and come back to Arsenal. It seems like he's leaving the club. For me,
It's like paying for a
paying for
move
a
to go
move.
somewhere. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think so. Because I feel like they blocked it because he was meant to go to Wolves, isn't it, for like 20
Mm.
million. But I feel like they blocked the move because they wanted to keep him, and
But
they've just kind of.
he's,
It
for
feels like
me,
they've
he's
just
good
kind of
enough
fucked
to
him
be.
over.
He's good enough to be contributing. The fact that El Nenny's coming to the club back out of the dark, it's just
I don't
suggesting
know,
that
man. I
he
don't know.
could contribute.
When I've seen him play midfield this season, with him, I think he's kind of cursed by being good in quite a few positions. But
Mm,
I've seen him. I think he played like 2 games in midfield against who do they have in their flipping Europa League? Dundalk or something like that. That Irish
yeah,
team.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he
And
wasn't
El Nenny
moving.
scored that screamer.
He wasn't moving. Yeah, yeah. He wasn't moving too well, to be honest. He wasn't looking like he. Those are the kind of
Yeah,
games where
but
you're like, listen, I'm Arsenal like star boy, whatever. I'm actually coming in, putting my flipping stamping my authority on the game, and he didn't really. But
yeah,
anyway,
but
he
I think
also
that's
gets
there's
because he's out
various
of it.
moving
So
parts in
it's
that
hard,
in
man.
that
It's
in
hard.
that issue though, man. I feel like he needed some more trust, man. He needed trust and he needed some like game time. Playing against Dundalk ain't
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
motivate you. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think hopefully Ainsley can move on. I don't. I'd
yeah,
rather him.
yeah.
I'd rather him sort of restore his um, restart his career away from Arsenal because I just feel like there was something going on there that they just didn't trust him. Or was Arteta didn't fancy him? I'm not sure.
It's hard as well. It's hard as well when you're coming through the academy as well. I feel like an extra kind of pressure. Maybe we'll move on to like a after the loan, you might move on to like a say like a West Ham or like a I don't know a Palace or something. He'd still have
Bro,
a
I think he's
decent
good
kind of
enough.
career.
I think he could go to an
Uh,
Arsenal. He could go to a Tottenham. He could go to a Leicester. He's good enough for me.
Apparently Tottenham were interested in him. Apparently Tottenham were
Yeah,
interested in
but
him in the
I
summer.
think that just weren't gonna
But
happen.
He's Arsenal boy in it. Yeah.
Yeah, just weren't gonna happen. I don't
Rugby
know
is
if it was
so
a
clever
club
can
or it
go
was
one way,
him,
but
but
it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen the other way, man.
yeah.
Um,
But yeah, obviously they got rid of a lot more deadwoods, not including Ainsley, but like
yeah,
Socrates
yeah.
has gone. Um, who's the other one? Mustafi's now left,
Mustafi.
gone to Schalke. Part of that, well, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
part of that sort of transfer merry-go-round, which took Kabach to Liverpool. Um,
Arsenal fans, you're welcome in it. You're
mm,
welcome because I know you man were trying to get rid of Mustafi for a while. So
yeah, yeah,
it's all good.
definitely.
It's
But
all good.
yeah, it was yeah, a fairly successful window for Arsenal. But in terms of like plugging gaps that need plugging, I still feel like they've got some spots to improve on. But for most clubs, that stuff won't happen until the summer. But
Yeah, I think
Erdgaard,
we've seen.
if they got Erdgaard over on a loan to buy with an obligation to buy, then I'd be like, ooh, that's a good signing. But if he pops off, Real Madrid have got previous of just taking that player back and then selling him
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
highest
yeah,
price. So Erdgaard, we'll
yeah.
see. I think I'm a bit worried about that because I think he's a top player, but as long as he doesn't stay at Arsenal past this window, as long as he does well and can move on,
And
I'll be
just
happy
get back to
because
playing something.
I've liked that
Yeah,
player for a while. So yeah,
but
we'll see.
he's been on the scene for like a good few years already, and he's still
Well, when
only
he
I think
came
he's
through in
only
his
like 24.
15, he came through in his
Yeah,
15.
he's only 24, but he's been
Is he
about for
24?
flipping. Yeah,
Thought he was a bit younger than that.
He's had like four loans. It might be 22 actually.
Mm.
But he's been about for a minute, but he still hasn't really. I feel like his career's not really got started yet.
No,
Um,
it's still got a lot more legs in his career just yet.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
cool. I think is that all the Arsenal ones. We can move on to
I
I mean
think
Özil
so.
as
Yeah, yeah, I
well,
think so.
but another player joining Özil in Turkey is Jedson Fernandez, whose
Yeah,
unsuccessful year at Spurs, sorry, is now over. I mean, I remember that pen against Norwich that he missed in the cup, and I thought that was pretty much curtains for his career at Spurs at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
listen. If there's one manager that holds a grudge, it's Jose. Like you can't be moving like that.
He's
To
Portuguese
expect
as
to.
well, so it's even more surprising he didn't
He
manage to
don't
find a
wait.
tune.
Jose don't give a fuck, man. Like if you do Jose dirty, he'll do you dirty
Mm.
tenfold. Like yeah. So he was never going to get a look, and he's gone to Galatasaray, I think today.
Yeah,
So yeah,
looks like it.
hopefully,
I thought he was going to go back to Benfica, but they've loaned him out straight away. So interesting that one.
yeah.
Interesting because I thought there were rumours about him becoming for like 50 odd million as like an obligation to buy, which
But
has just not
he
happened.
was doing bits. He was doing bits, but like as happens sometimes in the Prem, like if you don't hit the ground running or you have like a bit of a sticky patch, especially if you've got a ruthless manager like Jose, like you ain't gonna see too much daylight afterwards.
Mm,
Um,
yeah,
I can't
that's
remember any minutes he's got. To be fair, this season really of note. So, what can you do, man? We wish him all the best. Any other transfers you want to touch on, or any other team
nah.
business you want to talk about?
Do you know what?
It's
I
been a
mean,
quiet. It's been a quiet
as
one, isn't it?
predicted, yeah, it's been quite a quiet transfer window. But yeah, man, I think we can leave it there pretty much. Liverpool managed to get not just one but two centre backs
See, FSG,
to
you listen to me.
hopefully sort of just pacify some of those worries that a lot of Liverpool fans were having about having to play Henderson and Fabinho. Will they be good enough?
Prob-
Only time will tell. Will they start against City or will they go back to the tried and tested
Nah, I'm not
Henderson
trying to see. I'm not trying to
featuring
see them start.
Phillips? Well, yeah, well, I
Nah, I
mean,
think
they're hoping one of them are going to go straight in.
Fabinho should be back. I think Fabinho will be playing centre back probably for
Mm.
the rest of this season. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens with them two, man. Like I said, Ben Davis was unknown until yesterday afternoon, so I
Hmm.
can't really
But yeah,
sort
can't
of
too.
curb my
But yeah,
expectations.
time will tell. We'll have a look at that. And yeah, as a United fan, I'm hoping they get thrown in straight away and we find out whether they got the minerals or not. Because I, for some reason, don't feel like they're going to take to the Premier League like a duck to water. But we'll see. I guess we'll see. For the rest of the clubs in the Premier League, it's been mostly outgoings. Especially United been focusing on outgoings. Arsenal been focusing on outgoings. A lot of deadwood that's been shifted this transfer window. But yeah. Yeah, thank you for your insight, Ishmael. I'm glad that we got to share that raw excitement of finally FSG
Flipping
satisfying
out, man.
your demands. But like I
Only
said,
only my club could do what I want and like exactly what I asked for, and still kind of underwhelm me at the same time.
over
Like
deliver, but
it's a
then
bit mad.
still not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but also
Oh,
at no point did I say sign two centre backs. If you go back to
yeah.
the videos, I said sign a centre back.
Not
Then man when I
quantity,
got
quality.
then man when I got two, and I'm still a bit like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah,
He
yeah,
could
yeah, yeah.
work out to be a stroke of genius, but we just don't
Mhm.
know, do we?
No, no, for sure. Do you know what? I don't know if you remember this player that I suggested, and this is one like I'm cool with who you signed at centre back. The one player I was properly worried about you signing, I mentioned him in one of our first shows, David Carmo. Don't know if you remember him.
Yeah.
He is a player. If you signed him, I'm like, this is a problem. He's like tall, left-footed, quick. He's about 6'4", rapid, left-footed. Has an eye for a pass. He's only like 20 or 21. Like that's what I'd have been worried about. If you signed,
We were linked with him as well, but
yeah,
I don't know. We obviously, I think we went for the options which were financially
cost effective.
and
Yeah, you had
yeah,
two. I
cost
think you had
effective.
two bids rejected for him. I'm honestly so happy
Yeah,
because I think in the summer, whoever gets him has a proper player on their hands.
there's a few centre backs. I think this summer's going to be interesting. Obviously, you've
Mm.
got Moncano, Canate, both from Leipzig. You've got
Kunde.
Kunde as well, and you got a few
Fafana's
man. You got
definitely
a
going
few.
to be on the market. Some clubs are definitely going to be sniffing around him.
I don't know. I feel like Wolves just dropped 30 M's on him. I feel like if he goes this summer, it's going to be for
Leicester.
like
Mm.
I say Wolves. I mean, yeah, Leicester just dropped 30 M's on him from. Saint Etienne. So I feel like if whoever signs with summer, you're dropping 60, 65 mil.
Mm.
Unless they move already, they're not going to get
Yeah,
bullied. So
big time. Well, for me, I
it's
think
going to be an interesting one.
Upamecano is the centre back to the like poster boy centre back that everyone's going to be trying to sign. It's like the Delict
Yeah,
transfer a couple of years ago. Everyone's going to be after
which makes me
Upamecano.
a
Will it
bit. It
be?
makes me a bit. It makes me a bit skeptical, but
It's the
I don't know.
transfer,
I've
mate.
watched.
It's the transfer clause. The release clause is about
Yeah,
37
yeah,
mil.
yeah, yeah. It's tasty. It's tasty, isn't it? It's tasty. But I
Mm.
just think I've watched both of them play. Him and Kanate play this season,
You rate
and
Konate,
like
don't you?
I like Kanate. Also, one thing. This is with my Liverpool hat firmly on because of our injury records. Look up Upamecano's injury records. You'll
Surprised. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to say though.
He's missed a lot of foot. He's missed a lot of football, and
He's
it's
still
not
young
just
though,
one
isn't he?
injury as
So
well.
he's still young though, so it's hard to tell whether
Yeah,
that's
he's
a sign
22.
of things to
But
come or if it's just been like growing pains, him going
for
filling out into
me,
his
for
physique.
me, for me, yeah, it's if it's one injury, you can kind of to be fair, both are worrying. But for me, it's because he's had so many different injuries. It's a
Mm.
bit of like a Matip thing where like if it's not his hip, it's his ankle, and it's
Mm.
like
Yeah. Do you think?
what
Do you
he's
think
signing.
before we finish up? Do you think either of those two signings you've made at centre back will stop you from going to sign another centre back in the summer?
Absolutely no way. Nah,
These are just
I
stopgaps.
think I don't even think they're stopgaps. I think they could be eventual squad players. I think our centre back area this summer is going to see a massive overhaul.
Mm.
I think as much as I rate Joel Matip, I do think I think I was watching Stoppage Time TV earlier, so big up those guys. But they were saying, throughout was saying that availability is the best ability, and if you can't rely on the man to stay fit, I don't care how good you are. If you're only going to get, he's had 5 separate injuries this season. Like, do you know how mad that is? Like in 19 games, he's had 5 different injuries. So I just think just cut ties and
Yeah,
that's it.
it's not good, is it?
If you can offload him, but yeah, I just
And
think
does,
we're gonna see massive changes this summer in the back.
cool.
So
I know I said one last
they
question,
can
but
both stay.
one more. Do you
Yeah, yeah, go on.
put your wonder balls on the line right now?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you think those centre back signings throw you back into the title race? And what are your aspirations for this season with those two summer signings, signings?
I still think my aspirations are still to challenge for the title. I'm not deluded. I don't want to see us. I'm not saying I want to see us just breeze the whole thing. Like I do think City are kind of back with a vengeance, but I want to see us put up a fight. I want to see like
Mm.
a 5, 6 points in it, whatever. Um, I think for us, I think we don't need, or I don't want them to be. I don't need them to be spectacular centre back signings. If one or two of them are just solid and it frees up Henderson and Fabinho in midfield, then we're good, man. We're good.
Yeah, yeah.
I think our problem has been not having that midfield enforcer, not necessarily
Mm.
having
You've missed
centre
them.
back.
You've
So
missed your midfield for sure.
yeah, so I think
Um,
we're back in the title race. We're back in the title race.
but yeah, brilliant. All right, wicked. Thank you, Ishmael, for that insight. Cheers, guys. It's been another episode of Weird and Wonderful. That's been the January transfer window roundup. Hope you've enjoyed it.
Yo, yo, yo.
As we always say, it did get ugly. Could have gone uglier. To be fair, I'm impressed.
It was pretty beautiful to say.
Yeah,
To say.
but
All right.
but the game, as always, stays beautiful. We'll
You
be
know how it
back
is, man.
again for this. I think we've got some midweek fixtures again. It's unrelenting. That's how we like it. We'll be back here to preview, and also expect some extra bonus content. It's a reaction to a debate we had on our Instagram this morning.
Ah,
Ishmael had one opinion. I, let's just say, had a very different one. But yeah, we'll find some time to get into that again and really find out who the top 5 worst January transfer window signings are. Let's just say I don't think Dongfang Zhu should be even in the conversation. But Ishmael was in charge
rapid.
today, so let's just say he had his fun.
I had the reins,
Um,
baby. I had the reins. I had the reins.
but yeah, we'll probably do a little debate. We'll do like a quick 5-10 minutes of that one. But for now, that's been Weird and Wonderful. Ishmael, thank you. Boom.
You know how it is, man. You know how it is.
Yeah, you can find his socials just there. You can find mine there. You can find ours just down there. But yeah, guys, again, thank you very much. We'll see you very soon. Bye bye.